Polkadot and the Death Cross. There are a couple of things I'm going to talk about today. Before I do, as always, the spreadsheet is updated. These were just the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel that I thought would crash. It's in the bull cycle, and they still are compared to where I spoke about them. If you'd invested $100 into each one, you'd be up 22 grand. And in a few of these, the rest are into projects that I'm certain will smash it in this bull cycle, which I do not believe is over whatsoever. And that's why I show and copy my crypto. The coins I hold are set for huge long-term growth, as well as the fact that some of them provide some significant opportunities in terms of some serious gains, both short-term and long-term. Really recommend you get into it. If you're new to crypto, this is perfect for you. If you're not new to crypto, still perfect for you, because you want to see what I'm holding so that you can see the benefits of these coins. That being said, we're now going to get into the market. So, the death cross, look at it, look at it. We're very close, very, very close. Now, there's only a few ways this goes, right? The death cross happens and the market has a huge correction. The death cross is a fake out, and we've seen that over 50% of the time, the death cross has been a fake out, right? And it may not happen. If Bitcoin rallies, and it would have to rally fairly dramatically at this point, the death cross wouldn't happen. Now, I'm not concerned about it. In the short term, it might not be great seeing portfolios drop. It might not be great if there's a correction, that is. If there's a correction as a result of the death cross, it's not going to be great short term, but it's a long-term gain. This whole thing is a long-term gain. I did a video yesterday where I was talking about it in terms of the point of crypto, ideologically, is to change circumstances of as many people in the world as possible, right? It brings banking to the bankless, right? And we're seeing it. We're seeing it in Nigeria as one of the biggest countries without banking, but the amount of people, the percentage of the population that are using it. I mean, even just last year it was 32%. It's well higher than that right now, and we're seeing that same pattern in those countries that are bankless. And this is something that's a long-term thing. In the short term, might be hard, but it's also going to be a buying opportunity, because I still don't believe we haven't, from my perspective, right? I've been in the last two bull cycles. We have blow off tops in a bull cycle. It's always the way. Whether it's a stock markets or crypto, you have a blow off top before a real collapse, or before a real correction. And we haven't seen a blow off top, so while it may correct dramatically, again, I still think it will rally this year. The stock to flow model of Bitcoin alone shows the benefits of it. And the stock to flow model was what Plan B created. Now we know the validity of it. Same applies to gold. Interestingly, silver is one that's people keep ignoring, and I'll get into that another day. But this is coming up. It looks like it's probably going to happen within the next, I would say, 2-3 days based on the chart. And if it happens, we might see a major correction. If there's a major correction, or if we start seeing it, then just be prepared to potentially USDT or USDC some of your holdings, or short some of the markets. But it's a judgment call you have to make based on what you're seeing. But without further ado, let's talk about Polkadot and the market in general. So the market's having a slight retracement as well. It's about 6% down across the entire market. Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything's having some small pullback. I said AMP just keeps going mental, and Shiba, to be fair. But beyond that, everything's having some retracement. Yeah, today looks like we're probably going to see a continued bleed. Small one for most altcoins. But yeah, it's the circumstances that we're in. In terms of the news that's been coming out about Bitcoin, we know Tanzania are looking at adopting Bitcoin, or at least certainly adopting cryptocurrencies, to not fall behind the current trend, because it's going to be an ever going, like an ever growing trend. Randomly, Kim Kardashian shilled Ethereum Max, and the Mr. Whale has been speaking about potentially dead cat bounce, so continued profit taking. But beyond that as well, the other thing that I want to talk about, Tunisia is decriminalizing Bitcoin. That's a big step in the right direction. I mean, it's a smaller country, but again, adoption is going to come from smaller countries, and you have to make the right steps at the right time. That's a good sign. You know, you shouldn't be imprisoned for holding some digital currency. So a change in that dynamic within that country is the first step in the right trajectory, in the same way that it will be for the many countries that are going to start adopting it to be legal tender. And Tim Draper reiterated his belief of a 250 grand Bitcoin. I'm sure he's basing some of that on Plan B's stock to flow model, which suggests, I think it was 288,000. But he feels very confident on that. But what I would think is he's going off of the basis of this is a massive long-term investment, and even if the market corrected hugely or the bull cycle stopped, he's not going to sell these. He knows that 4 years down the line in the next bull cycle, we're going to break all-time highs, as we always do after a halving. So yeah. Now Polkadot. What I wanted to talk about is, I saw an article literally this morning on Analytics Insight, which was quite interesting, talking about Polkadot being the best investment of the year, or certainly one of. But they said, yeah, best crypto investment of the year. Now, obviously, anyone that's watching this, you know the enormous ecosystem and enormous hype that's been behind Polkadot for so long. And part of the reason that I'll say that they believe that it's going to be the best investment, they're not taking a gamble here. Polkadot's going to grow. That's an inevitability, right? I believe that some of the smaller caps, or a lot of smaller caps of Polkadot, are going to have far greater growth, but Polkadot should have some fairly significant growth, and it's far more of a secure investment to look at Polkadot than it is to say look at Robonomics, right? Because Polkadot's ecosystem is continuously growing. On top of that, obviously, we now have parachains going. With the parachains that are going to be launched throughout the year, there's potential for 1 million transactions per second as a throughput for Polkadot. So there's a big appeal there, and there's a big opportunity for payment solutions from a coin within the Polkadot ecosystem, or with Polkadot itself. But it's a solid investment. And with that sort of throughput, that's what's needed, particularly for payment solutions. And make no mistake about it, something that we sort of got lost in throughout this year, the entire crypto community to some degree, is the functionality of crypto. And a payment solution is still that, is hugely functional. It's something that's needed. And if Polkadot's ecosystem, or the Polkadot coin, or a parachain can be utilized as a payment solution there isn't a stable coin, the potential for growth on that crypto could be enormous. Now, they've quoted digital coin price. I look at digital coin price, but it's a conservative perspective, who predict that one Polkadot could reach up to $107.40 in 2025, which is a long time off. And they're conservative because they don't want to make a mistake, right? It's always nice to be underestimating than overestimating, I guess, especially if you're considering yourself, a predictor. Now, and this is their spreadsheet, although I don't see 107 anywhere. But what I would say, if we get back into the full swing of a bull cycle, which I still feel we will, and we'll still see Polkadot break the previous all-time high this year and go way further than that, everything scales beyond that. Because if Bitcoin breaks its previous all-time high and swings up to 100 grand, everything else below it will grow, but with greater gains. Bitcoin's a safer investment, but that means the returns are small. The lower cap altcoins or the altcoins below Bitcoin are going to grow faster and they're going to grow larger. And you got to remember as well, if we're looking at current price points, Polkadot's sitting at around $23.23. Its previous all-time high is about 48, so it's half at this point. But Polkadot could well easily hit $200 a coin in this bull cycle with the hype and the momentum that occurs during a bull cycle. And that would put it around a market cap of about 170. No, where are we? Sorry. About 220 billion. Right? Sounds massive, but in the scheme of things, there's been points in this bull cycle when we have seen. There's been points in this bull cycle when we've seen Dogecoin at like 80 billion. Okay, so contextualize everything when we're looking at it, right? And to boost the Polkadot ecosystem and the Polkadot trading opportunities, Coinbase has added Polkadot as trading to their Pro platform, which means it's not going to be long before it's added to the standard Coinbase account. But that means more people have the opportunity to trade it and to invest in it. And then you've got other stories like Mangato Finance, which is a polychain capital solution. They believe that Polkadot's basically the future, as I think a lot of us do. The parachains and the interoperability of blockchains is vital. It's the biggest sort of flaw within the blockchain systems, and it's something that could make the world of a difference to not only blockchain technology, but to how everything works in the future and how and the benefits that DeFi could bring when you can cross-chain. So Mangato, which is Polychain Capital, which is a massive, massive venture capital fund, managed to raise 1.4 million in just creating a terminal to trade Polkadot assets, and that's the draw that Polkadot brings. 1.4 million to trade Polkadot-based ecosystem tokens. That's huge. That's huge. It's the best positioned protocol, being cutting edge in research and development that will solve trading UX, costs, and front-running problems with the industry's top investors. This team has the best support to build a successful product. And that's from Polychain Capital. But it's leveraging the full stack capabilities of Polkadot and Substrate to bring a cheaper, faster, and more fair trading experience to its users. And don't forget, that's something that Polkadot aims to bring, is a cheaper network along with a more scalable network. So the long-term potential of Polkadot will remain for a while. And you do also have to remember the team behind it. The guy that made Polkadot is also a co-founder of Ethereum. Gavin Wood has done exceptional work in his time. And Ethereum, I still firmly believe, will flip Bitcoin at some point. But goddamn, Polkadot is going to at some point just be a consistent top 4 coin. We take Tether out of the equation and it will be, without a shadow of a doubt. And there's a lot of reason to be excited about Polkadot in a long-term investor perspective. I mean, even if you just take it from digital coins perspective, where we're currently sitting around $23 for Polkadot, you're looking at a 3x there and that's a conservative estimate. We know that. We know that. Um, so I'm hugely excited about Polkadot. I keep trying to read as much as I can about Polkadot. But yeah, there's a lot to like. There's a lot to like. And the fact that Coinbase have jumped on board finally is always a good sign because you want more and more people being able to invest because it only helps the coin in and of itself. You sort of saw it with AMP recently because AMP ended up launching on Coinbase and goddamn, AMP has built some momentum up. It's not the only reason, but the Coinbase being added to Coinbase really ramped it up in the same way that that there was that impact with Matic or Polygon. Although Polygon's got so much more going for it than Coinbase. But yeah, anyway, that's it from me. Uh, yeah, keep your eye on Polkadot, keep your eye on the markets. Like I say, building up to this sort of death cross situation. Um, and I'm not, the short term might suck, the long term, this has no impact on my long term perspective of crypto, and it never will. Crypto is, without a shadow of a doubt, the future. And we're already seeing it in terms of adoption with countries, with generations like the millennials starting to happen. So the short term, like I say, could suck. Long term, nothing changes. If you're new to crypto, check out Copy My Crypto. You can see what I'm holding, why I'm holding it, the coins that I have gained opportunities with that I can make some seriously good, quick profits as well. And that's valuable in this market when you can create quick profits and bank that, or put that into a friggin' stable coin that can then gain you some serious capital earnings. It's good. You want to check this out. Link is in the description. Anyway, that's it from me. Hope you're all staying well, keeping safe. Bye bye.